Interesting to consider that in recent years there have been a spate of violent incidents, usually homicidal, by paranoid schizophrenics, usually targeting pensioners, which is all very interesting to consider indeed. I believe there is a reason behind these activities. Indeed, there have been several murders of pensioners by paranoid schizophrenics in the last few years. And paranoid schizophrenics are not actually violent people by nature. They are being programmed to kill by networks of Freemasons within the MI6 intelligence services of the United Kingdom, operating Mindgate program, mind control programming on the paranoid schizophrenic population of the United Kingdom. Indeed, the paranoid schizophrenics are being programmed to kill people by Freemasons within the British intelligence services, most notably MI6. So it's interesting to consider that as a paranoid schizophrenic, I am technically in a state of war with Freemasons. Indeed, I prefer psychological terrorism as my tactic in this ongoing cosmic conflict between paranoid schizophrenics and Freemasons because I don't want to get myself locked away unnecessarily. Also, I'm not particularly violently inclined. I only have violent urges towards, for instance, policemen when they try and arrest me, but generally, other than that, I don't have any violent urges. And these violent instances in my life have been very few and far between. However, I am judged by society as a very dangerous and very violent person, but I am not actually violent at all. Indeed, the majority of violence that I have committed has been in self defense. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, returning to the cosmic conflict, the cosmic war between paranoid schizophrenics and Freemasons, it's interesting to note that in the past 10 years, there have been several incidents of arsons on Masonic lodges, mainly in North America. Indeed, these arsons have been committed by paranoid schizophrenics. Now, this is an interesting concept because the Masons are not programming the paranoid schizophrenics to commit arson on the lodges necessarily. This is just a reaction to the truth that the Freemasons are beaming at paranoid schizophrenics utilizing psychotronic weapons, and the Freemasons are mind control programming the paranoid schizophrenics, as I've already evidenced in the case of the murders of several pensioners by paranoid schizophrenics, which is part of an ongoing Masonic agenda to basically turn the population against the paranoid schizophrenic demographic and therefore deal with us as the Freemasons have always wanted to deal with us, either through advanced microchipping technology, which will render us basically into a lobotomized state, or a T4 extermination program, as occurred in Nazi Germany, where over 90%, I believe it was 92 to 94% of the paranoid schizophrenic population of Nazi Germany was exterminated by psychiatric networks who were themselves Freemasons. Indeed, I've explained before that the supposed Nazi clampdown on the Freemasons was actually a false conflict. Indeed, certain lodges were shut down, that was all, but the really powerful Freemasons connected to British intelligence within the Nazi structure were running the show. They were not shut down. It was all a scam to make it look like something was going on that wasn't. Indeed, it's interesting to note that the theories that these arsonists had when committing these arsons on the Masonic lodges, their theories were that the Freemasons were beaming psychotronic weapons at them and mind control programming them. Indeed, there was also one that theorized that the Freemasons had killed his grandfather. Indeed, I'd posit that all of these theories are true. In my own personal experience, the Freemasons are beaming psychotronic weapons at me. Indeed, the networks that are doing it are Masonic networks, whether it be Wiltshire Police, even the GIU, or the British Security Services, the people that are mind control, psychotronic beaming at me with radiation weaponry, are Freemasons. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the other theories posited were that the Freemasons were mind control programming the paranoid schizophrenics. Indeed, the Freemasons are mind control programming the schizophrenics. However, committing arson is just going to get you locked up. So you can't operate from inside a secure mental health facility very easily. So it's best not to do that. Indeed, one must think of different tactics in this cosmic conflict between the paranoid schizophrenic population and the Freemasons. So indeed, I am basically a psychological terrorist because I pump the public domain full of information as much as I can by creating this content, which I believe is a better way of doing things than, for instance, committing arson on a Masonic lodge. However, I do not condemn these guys at all for their actions. Indeed, these were acts of desperation, and these paranoid schizophrenics probably felt that that was the right thing to do. So I make no judgments of these people at all. Indeed, this is a war between paranoid schizophrenics and Freemasons. So it's interesting to consider. Now, why do the Freemasons hate the paranoid schizophrenics? Envy, supposedly. Indeed, paranoid schizophrenics are a gift from God, basically. If you are a religious person, paranoid schizophrenics are a gift from God. Paranoid schizophrenics are in communication with cosmic intelligence. Paranoid schizophrenics are very, very special people. And the Freemasons see us as targets for their mind control programming. Indeed, the mind control programming that took place in the United States, United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union. The first demographic used in the experimentation were the paranoid schizophrenic population within the lunatic asylums and mental hospitals, which is all very interesting to note. Indeed, I've theorized before that the entire mental health system, as it was built up in the early 1800s, in what is known as the Great Confinement, the sudden building of loads of asylums, was to do with the fact that the Freemasons and networks of Bavarian Illuminists, who were themselves Freemasons of British intelligence, were committing huge mind control operations on various people that they designated as targets, who basically had symptoms of lunacy, and therefore they became fair game for the Freemasonic networks who wished to experiment on these people. Indeed, the Freemasons very carefully select the people that they beam at and mind control program. And indeed, the building of all these asylums in the early 1800s was to find a place to basically isolate the mind control victims before the mind control victims told the general population what the Freemasons were up to. And also, the building of these asylums allowed for places and locations of experimentation to occur. Indeed, as I stated before, young, beautiful female psychiatric patients are used as sex slaves by Hellfire Club initiate Masonic geriatric psychiatrists. They're also pimped out to Faith of Ishmael adherents, literally from the psychiatric hospitals. Indeed, they're also often given electroshock, which causes amnesia, so they forget that the Freemasons who coordinate the mental hospital operations are doing this. Indeed, I've stated before that the Order of Malta Hospitallers, the Knights of Malta, run the psychiatric hospital system for the British intelligence services. And you have to take into account that the Order of Malta is Masonic. It is a Masonic network. So the Knights of Malta are Freemasons. Despite seemingly being a Catholic chivalry network, basically, they are Freemasons. and they are part of the overall Masonic agenda, which basically wants to experiment on and potentially exterminate the paranoid schizophrenic population. Indeed, these houses, these supported accommodation houses, and the companies that run them, such as Rethink Mental Illness, where I'm living at the moment, they are run by Freemasons, and they are based on eugenicist agendas. They want you to behave in a certain way and attempt to destroy your individuality and attempt to destroy the cosmic processes of the schizophrenic mind, to stop the schizophrenic mind from channeling cosmic influences. And they attempt to basically clean you up, chop your hair off, chop your beard off, and turn you into a drone, which would suit the Freemasons running the corporate world and the banking world and society as a whole. Indeed, the paranoid schizophrenic terrifies the Freemasons. I'm going to do some more research into this and attempt to figure out exactly what is going on. Indeed, I knew a paranoid schizophrenic who was, when he was younger, was recruited by Mensa. However, when he started going crazy and exhibiting paranoid schizophrenic symptoms, Mensa burned him off. It's interesting to note that Mensa is a basically para-fascist organization. It is a eugenicist organization. And it's interesting to note that I once read a theory that Mensa were linked to the assassination of JFK, which is very interesting. And Mensa is a front for intelligence operations, i.e. British intelligence operations, just as is Intertel, the other high IQ society operating out of America. Now, Intertel is coordinated by the Office of Naval Intelligence, which is itself a British intelligence front. So it's interesting to note that these high IQ societies are being run by basically fascist networks within British intelligence. It's all linking to certain theories that various theorists have had of fascist networks being behind the JFK assassination. However, I'd posit that it was British fascist networks within British intelligence that coordinated the hit. If there was a hit, there are theories that it was all staged, but who knows? Indeed, I guess this constant theorizing and thinking on these topics is another reason why the Freemasons really despise paranoid schizophrenics. Indeed, I expect that the Freemasons really hate my face popping up on the camera all the time. Indeed, the exposures of Grenville Lodge by William Field were very interesting, and the fact that the Freemasons at Grenville Lodge were experimenting on selected students. These were Hellfire Club Freemasons operating out of Grenville Lodge, and they were experimenting on students, certain students at the University of Buckingham, certain students that they designated as targets. Indeed, the University of Buckingham is a corporate entity, a corporate front for the Grenville Lodge number 1787 Masonic Lodge, which is one of the most esteemed Masonic lodges in the country, and is a research lodge in the vein of Quattro Coronati. And William Field made these exposures of Grenville Lodge. Locally, he was getting up on tables and stating that the Freemasons among the professors were sacrificing people under the buildings and turning their souls into cats. That's interesting. This is like dark occult science that the Freemasons operate by. This is very true indeed. As William Field's KGB double, this is all very interesting to me. What makes it more interesting is that my knowledge is a bit vaster than his was on this topic, though I'm still a little bit sketchy on certain details of Freemasonry. But I will get there. I have a lot of research to do. Indeed, I believe that the Freemasonic body of initiates of Wyvern Lodge in this town are beginning to have nightmares about me, which is all very interesting. Indeed, I've been keeping up a vigil of the local Masonic hall. There is a reason I sit in specific places sometimes. And indeed, Wyvern Lodge is my next target. And the interconnectivity between the Wyvern Lodge networks and the CJ Robbins Butcher's Shop. Indeed, I saw one of the guys from CJ Robbins Butcher's Shop parking in the private Masonic car park the other day and then donning his butcher's cloak and heading into CJ Robbins, which makes sense on my theory of the butcher shops being creepy Masonic organ harvesters. Indeed, this is all part of an arcane occult ritual. Indeed, the Freemasons actually get off on these things. These, as I've stated, paranoid schizophrenics are not naturally inclined towards necrophilia or cannibalism or murdering pensioners. So it's interesting to note that the majority of serial killers that came out of nowhere basically in the 60s and 70s in the United States, the majority of these serial killers had all spent time in psychiatric hospitals before they began their murder sprees, basically. So the Freemason networks within the Central Intelligence Agency in the United States through the MK Ultra program would have had the chance to mind control these people and program them to behave in a certain way. And as I've stated, it seems that the majority of the killings supposedly done by these serial killers weren't actually done by these serial killers at all. They were often done by elite Freemason networks of pathocratic networks of Freemasons who were committing psychopathic murders themselves and they needed fool guys, or there were witnesses to certain activities by Masonic networks and neo-Nazi satanic covens who were themselves Masonic, and witnesses needed to be silenced. So either the supposed serial killers were paranoid schizophrenics trained as assassins in Manchurian candidate programs to murder these witnesses, or they didn't murder them at all. And in fact, the Freemason intelligence operatives murdered these witnesses to Masonic crimes, and all of these killings were pinned on these serial killers. It's very interesting because it seems that the majority of these serial killers were not serial killers at all. And any killings they did do, they were programmed to do by the Freemasons within the US intelligence services. Indeed, I've explained that the maniacs in Russia, it was all basically the same concept. Indeed, the Freemasons within the KGB networks programmed the maniacs to commit these crimes to cover up for other things. And most of the killings supposedly done by these maniacs in their sprees were not actually done by these maniacs at all. They were done by Masonic networks. So it's all very interesting to note that the Freemasons have a serious issue with paranoid schizophrenics. Indeed, all of these serial killers and the maniacs seem to have the same MOs, basically, almost, and all of them seem to have spent time in psychiatric facilities before they have begun their killing sprees. So it's interesting to note that the intelligence services run the mental hospitals and therefore can conduct mind control programming operations within the mental hospitals and can program people to kill, just as these paranoid schizophrenics who have been murdering pensioners in the United Kingdom have been programmed to kill by the Freemasons, because the Freemasons wish to shut down any resistance by paranoid schizophrenics against the Masonic Lodge, basically. And therefore, the Freemasons have to cast the paranoid schizophrenics in a certain light to the general population, so that the general population will no longer feel any sympathy for the paranoid schizophrenic, and the general population will basically take part in the either mass microchipping or extermination of the paranoid schizophrenic population, which serves as part of the overall Masonic agenda, the psychopolitical agenda of the Freemasons who are coordinating the intelligence services. Indeed, the most elite intelligence operatives in the United Kingdom are Freemasons, just as the most elite Freemasons in the United Kingdom are intelligence operatives. Indeed, all Freemasons are intelligence operatives. So it's interesting to consider all of this. And indeed, as a paranoid schizophrenic, I am at war with Freemasonry. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope I've made my point enough, really.